Jordan surveys her new place, which is empty, and Anna drops by as her first guest. Jordan flaunts a fancy designer's name she's hiring, who doesn't come cheap. Concerned, Anna asks if the focus of her work for Sidwell has changed. Jordan admits she hasn't found a whiff of anything illegal involving Sidwell, so why not enjoy the work she's getting paid for? Plus, if she doesn't live this glamorous life, it will tip him off. Anna fears it's easy to be seduced by this life, and when she finally finds dirt on Sidwell, will she be able to give all this up and turn on him? At the hospital, Curtis arrives to surprise Portia as Isaiah watches from afar. Curtis has arranged a private tasting with a celebrity chef she loves, which thrills her. At the pool, Stella meets with Trina to meddle and asks what happened between her and Kai. Trina explains how Kai betrayed her and her parents by tattling to Drew about something he knew, and it hurt her family. Stella believes Kai got caught up in his principles, and things in life aren't black and white, especially love. Trina admits Kai said he loved her, and Stella asks if she believes him. Sunny brings Donna by for a swim lesson. She is glad to see Gio and reminds him that her birthday is coming up, and he promised to play the violin. He explains his violin broke, but he'll still be there. Seriously, Gio, you can't suck it up for your #1 fan? Gio speaks with Sunny alone while Donna is at her lesson. Gio assumes Dante and Brooke Lynn will be at the party, and he's still not over feeling betrayed by Brooke Lynn giving him up. We know. Sunny says he has every right to his feelings, as Dante went through the same thing as he did before coming around and forging a relationship with him. He tells Gio the choice is his, but his parents are amazing people who will be there for him if he lets them. At the Metro Court, Kai asks Drew what they do about Measure C without Sidwell's funding. Drew says it will have to wait, as he needs to focus on relocating to DC. Kai has gotten to know Scout while working for him and believes she'll miss her family if they move. Drew explains Alexis believes Scout is better off with her, so they need to move to DC as soon as possible and cut ties with that side of her family. Drew says that with him in DC, he'll need Kai to be his eyes and ears in Port Charles. He'll need to know about everything going on, political and otherwise. Well, we know Kai's good at snitching. Unfortunately, the human cockroach Ezra is back and gloats to Laura that her library expansion projects don't have the votes to pass. However, he'll make it happen once he's the mayor. Molly and Turner have lunch, and she learns a pricey gift basket arrived at her office with no name and suspects it's from Sunny. Meanwhile, Sunny meets with Laura at the bar, and the Marco ordeal comes up. Laura knows this town is better off with him in power than Jen's, and she's frustrated she can't just say that. Ezra sits down with Drew and says he's polling above Laura by a point. Drew gloats that puts him one step closer to getting rid of Sunny and his brother Jason. Ezra gets a call and excuses himself. Was it just me, or did the look on Ezra's face suggest he's starting to see Drew as a liability to his own ambitions? Once he's alone, Molly approaches Drew to talk about Scout. Back at the pool, Trina tells Stella that she believes Kai loves her, but it doesn't matter. Suddenly, Kai appears, having changed into pool attire. Stella invites him to join them, but Trina claims she needs to return a book to the library and runs off. Kai joins Stella and doesn't know how to fix things with Trina. Stella believes he's going to have to try hard to win back Trina. At the Quartermain's place, Dante suggests to Michael that he pull up street cam footage that may prove Willow was here the night Daisy was targeted. Michael wonders if it will hold up in court, which is when Brooke Lynn walks in, asking who is going to court. Michael explains it's for his and Willow's visitation hearing. Michael excuses himself, and Dante shifts the topic to fixing things between him, Brooke Lynn, and Gio. He says they've given Gio space, but the space has caused him to build this wall, which they need to tear down. Brooke Lynn doesn't see Gio ever forgiving her, but pushes Dante to work on his relationship with their son without her. She won't be the reason they both don't have a relationship with him. Chase, who is running in the park, bumps into a lone Willow sitting by herself. He asks what's going on, and she tells him about slapping Lucas. Chase wonders if Lucas provoked her. She is grateful he's asking that and giving her the benefit of the doubt. She explains how Lucas pushed her buttons. As an officer, Chase says she shouldn't have slapped him, but off the record, he deserved it. Their talk turns to Chase and Brooklyn wanting to adopt, and Chase admits the process has stalled. Back at the hospital, Michael arrives for routine blood work and runs into Curtis. Curtis tells him things are going great with Portia now that he and Drew have called a tentative truce, and he owes Michael for his advice and support. Nearby, Isaiah and Portia chat, and she gushes about how great things are between her and Curtis. He asks where Jodan fits in all this. He immediately apologizes for crossing a line, but she knows he's just concerned for her. She says Jordan is not even a consideration. Later, Curtis arrives at Jordan's place to help her as promised. Michael makes his way to the pool and chats with Gio about Donna's birthday. Gio will be there for Donna, even though things will be awkward between him, Dante, and Brooklyn. Michael says it doesn't have to be awkward if he doesn't make it. Trina returns to the pool, and Kai offers her some iced tea. She tells him she was just about to leave, but thanks him for the offer. At the hospital, Portia insists to Isaiah that she and her husband are moving forward. He seems to hesitate to say more and simply says he hasn't seen her this happy in a long time. Curtis looks around Jordan's new place and says everything looks sound. To be safe, she wants Curtis to inspect every inch of this place. Somehow, I think Jordan is including herself in that statement. Back at the pool, Gio insists to Michael that he is fine, but Michael knows better. He tells him he won't be fine until he finds a way to let go of the anger and pain he's carrying. In the park, Chase tells Willow that Brooklyn doesn't want to adopt right now, given what's going on with Gio. He fears he may never be a father. At the Quartermains, Dante won't abandon Brooklyn and insists they owe it to their son to be his parents, both of them. She agrees to try and do it his way. At the Metro Court, Anna interrupts Sunny and Laura as the mayor calls her. Sunny makes himself scarce. Laura brings up the situation with Obrecht and Rocco. Anna believes Obrecht has evolved and wouldn't hurt Rocco, but it's better to be her friend than her enemy. Ezra interrupts them and says Laura's library resolution suddenly has enough votes to pass. He wonders how many councilmen Sunny bribed to get the votes for her. Anna jokes that's a serious accusation, and the PCPD will get right on looking into it. Ezra says once he's mayor, firing Anna will be his first order of business. Sunny approaches Turner, and she brings up the expensive gift basket that arrived at her office. She knows he couldn't have sent it, as she made it clear to him that she can't accept gifts. But if he did, she'd have to prosecute him for harassment and would win. Finally, Molly tells Drew that Scout has lost so much, so she feels it's important she has family around her and is sure they can come to a compromise. Drew informs her that Alexis is trying to undermine him with his daughter, so they are moving to DC, and Scout will have no more contact with her grandmother or her aunts. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Here are your General Hospital spoilers for Friday, August 15th, 2025. Willow and Michael are in rare form this week as they take swings at those they think have wronged them. However, it appears Michael gets this right when Willow did not. Lucas did not deserve that slap, but it's a pretty good bet that Drew deserves Michael's fist. However, Michael could be falling right into a trap as Drew manipulates him. Drew might be setting Michael up to look bad in court by provoking Michael to physically attack him. What does Drew say that gets Michael so riled up? He never seems to run out of vile things to say to people. Jason takes Anna's advice and takes off for the Five Poppies resort. He is sure Britt is there and that he has to save her. Jason even tries to look the part of a man at a beach resort and dons a powder blue suit. Nobody will ever suspect he is Jason Morgan now. No way, no how. When Jason spots Britt, he tries to keep his cool, but then Britt turns around and stops him. Will this be our Friday cliffhanger, or will we see a real reunion this week? Jocelyn has already discovered that Britt is alive, but she is not about to tell anyone in Port Charles what's going on. However, she is shocked when Vaughn tells her that they are off the case and the WSB wants them home, now. Jocelyn isn't about to give up, because knowing Britt is alive changes everything. She is determined to solve this mystery, whether the WSB sanctions it or not. What Jocelyn and Vaughn do not know is that their mission has been compromised thanks to a dirty WSB agent who wants to thwart Jack at every chance she gets. Will Joss go rogue and try to figure out how Britt is alive on her own? Will Jason be stunned when he finds his goddaughter is in Croatia, because Anna left out this part of the story? On General Hospital, fans are trying to figure out the identity of Britt Westbourne's boss in Croatia. The mysterious man who, through impatient and annoyed hotel manager Pascal, has been giving her orders to work on Professor Dalton's research in the secret lab at the Five Poppies Resort. Speculation is growing whether the man in charge is someone we have seen on General Hospital before, either a long-missing supervillain like Jerry Jacks, a gray character like Valentine Cassadine, or someone we thought was dead like Victor Cassadine, or Peter August. The thought of Peter August somehow being alive after Felicia Scorpio bashed his head in and Anna Devane kept an eye on his body in Switzerland is one that disgusts many fans who hated his character. But there are facts that support this theory. One, that Peter was Britt's half-brother, and Britt is somehow alive herself, and they had a contentious relationship. Two, as we learned on the 13th episode, Jack Brennan's associate agent, Colette Moreau, is in contact with Britt's boss behind Brennan's back. Colette tried to shoot Valentine earlier this year, and Peter would have a motive to kill Valentine. Peter's portrayer, Wes Ramsey, has remained frequently visible to General Hospital fans through his romantic partner, Laura Wright. The couple celebrated their 8th anniversary in April, and in general, fans have been able to separate the actor from his deranged and diabolical character. Wright often shares pictures and moments of her and Ramsey on her social media, and she regularly talks about aspects of her life. She raised some eyebrows earlier this week, when on August 10th, she shared a post on Instagram featuring 10 random pictures of her and Ramsey. She captioned the post, "Just a few of my favorite pictures with the handsome fella." The pictures were a collection of photos of the couple out in nature, out in nightlife, or at an event. Ramsey and several other General Hospital actors liked the post. Not that she needs an excuse to talk about her romance, but Wright didn't share any specific reason for sharing these photos, which made some fans curious. It wasn't his birthday or their anniversary. Numerous fans commented with delight about the pictures, wishing them well on their continued romance. But a few noticed the timing of the post and asked Wright if Ramsey was returning to General Hospital. She didn't answer any of them. Nancy Lee Grahn commented on Wright's post saying, "Beautiful partnership." The Instagram user, Patty Bailey Fee 7, and added, "Laura, you and Wes are truly not only a beautiful couple, but also a fun couple who obviously share a very special love. It's a beautiful thing to see. I wish you both nothing but happiness." Wright liked the comment. Ramsey rarely posts on Instagram. His last grid post on April 28th marked the couple's anniversary. He captioned it, "Thank you for 8 years of reaching for our stars, walking in the light of our beautiful life, and jumping on my head whenever you feel like it. Hearts. You give us the playfulness of your spirit and all the laughter and love I could have ever dreamt of. Here's to our present moments." Wright commented then, "Ha, this is the best. Love you." Wright loves to promote General Hospital and her co-stars and tease upcoming scenes on her social media. Her post about her partner may be a coincidence, or it's possible that Peter is still dead, but she anticipated this current speculation about his return and decided to have a little fun with it. Time will tell, but if Peter is alive and Ramsey is working in the General Hospital studio again, buckle up. Also coming up on GH, Isaiah asks Felicia for advice. Drew manipulates Michael. Joss is frustrated. In addition to Curtis feeling shaken, General Hospital spoilers for Friday, August 15th, 2025, will also focus on Jason being a man on a mission. It seems like Curtis is trying not to let his current marriage end the way he let his last marriage to Jordan end. He is trying to learn from his mistakes. Another issue with Curtis is Drew. He has his eye on the congressman who recently called for a truce. But Drew is out of control, and he is out to get all of those people he feels have undermined him, never mind all the undermining he's done. So when Curtis is shaken, does it have to do with Portia, Drew, or all of the above? Meanwhile, Drew has already had it out with Jason, Alexis, and Lucas this week. Friday's target will be Michael. Teaser suggests that Drew manipulates Michael. Exactly. How is he going to do that? That has to be Michael punching Drew in the video preview of Friday's episode, right? Elsewhere, Anna lit a fire under Jason to find Britt. She's not so sure that her residency at the Five Poppies Resort was her choice. And now Jason is a man on a mission. This could mean that he books it to the Dalmatian region of Croatia sooner rather than later. He has a room reserved at the resort, and then he's all about tracking Britt down. What Anna failed to tell him was that he might run into Joss. Scratch that. He should run into rookie WA agent Jocelyn Jacks there. Anna couldn't tell him after Brennan's threats to jail her for treason, but that little ditty might blow Jason's mind. Speaking of Carly's daughter, Joss is frustrated. Being an agent on a recon mission is limiting, especially when you find out that the woman who died saving your life is really alive. Will Joss take matters into her own hands and find a more intrusive way to suss out the truth about what's going on at this cushy resort and spa? Finally, Isaiah is all over the place. He's flirting with Portia, even though he once pined for Jordan. He listens to and supports Elizabeth and Willow. He's made himself a valuable person to have by your side at the hospital. So, what could possibly be the reason he turns to Felicia for advice? Whether it's about something personal or professional, he usually provides the words of wisdom. It's nice to see him seek someone's help for a change. The stepbrothers have taken on major storylines. The future of General Hospital is here, and it is Danny and Rocco. The characters, as well as the actors, are taking on major storylines and knocking it out of the park. Danny is the son of Jason and Sam. Rocco's parents are Dante and Lulu, but they feel and act like brothers. As they are getting older, their lives have become more complicated, but they are always there for each other. Both boys have dealt with a lot this summer. Rocco learned that Britt, not Lulu, gave birth to him. He wants information, so he turned to Britt's mom, Liesl, much to his parents' dismay. This situation will really blow up when Britt returns to Port Charles, and Rocco will be in the middle of the storm. Danny is having his own issues. He is sad for his sister Scout, because her awful father will no longer let her be part of the family. Creepy Drew even wanted to have him arrested for picking his sister up from camp. Fans have been loving Danny and Rocco working at the Metro Court pool. It has been great watching them interact with each other and others. Their side conversations are fun. It is nice to see kids smiling while working instead of watching Gio's grumpy face all summer. It is great to have this new generation in major stories, and the actors are fantastic. Maybe others, such as Charlotte and Georgie, can join them in the fall. What do you think of Danny and Rocco's stories? Let us know in the comments section. General Hospital spoilers report Jen Sidwell's nefarious scheme to frame Sonny Corinthos for bribing a judge in Michael Corinthos' custody case has fans gossiping with dread. Sidwell's untraceable deposit into the judge's account, designed to look like Sonny's handiwork, threatens to topple his empire and alienate Michael, who'd never forgive such tactics in his fight for Wiley and Amelia Corinthos. As Sidwell holds the threat of exposure over Sonny, forcing his compliance, fans wonder if this is the end of his reign or a chance to outwit his foe. Sidwell's calculated move to pin a bribery scandal on Sonny has GH fans ablaze, with some worried that it could fracture his bond with Michael. The most recent plot twist, revealed through a deposit meant to look like Sonny's attempt to sway Michael's custody case against Willow Corinthos, puts Sonny in a vice: comply with Sidwell or risk losing his son's trust. Fans recall Sonny's untouchable days, even dodging murder charges, but Sidwell's one-step-ahead strategy makes things feel rather ominous. Can Sonny turn the tables, or is his empire crumbling? The tension surges as Sonny, cornered by Sidwell's blackmail, will soon be forced to weigh his options. Sidwell's threat to expose the bribe could cost Michael his kids, a betrayal he'd never forgive his father for. We have to also question if Sonny will bend to Sidwell's demands or enlist the help of someone like Damian Spinelli to trace the deposit back to its source. Carly Spencer could urge defiance, but she too may not know whether to believe her ex-husband would do such a thing. Meanwhile, Dante Falconeri could fear his father's choice might spark violence in retaliation. Will Sonny outsmart Sidwell or lose Michael? With Sidwell's blackmail tightening, the clock is ticking on how much time Sonny has left to either unravel the frame-up or face ruin. Will he protect Michael's trust and keep his empire intact, or will Sidwell's scheme mark the end of his reign? While we've seen this storyline play out numerous times over the years, the fans have to face the reality that Sonny and Maurice Benard alike won't be able to hold this down forever. Is this the beginning on his exit from Port Charles and the GH canvas? General Hospital spoilers tease that Mayor Laura Collins has her hands full. Between running the city of Port Charles as its mayor and dealing with her association with Sonny Corinthos, Laura doesn't have much time for much else. But when her family needs her, Laura will drop everything to make sure they are taken care of. And right now, Laura's grandson, Rocco Falconeri, has discovered unsettling family secrets that have caused the young man to question who he is. Rocco recently learned that Dr. Britt Westbourne actually stole his embryo and carried him to term. Not only that, but Britt raised him as her own, with Rocco's parents being none the wiser for several months. Once Dante Falconeri and Lulu Spencer discovered that the boy Britt named Ben was actually their son, they took custody of the child and renamed him Rocco. Until recently, Rocco had no idea of the circumstances surrounding his birth. Once he learned the truth, Rocco had a lot of questions. Unbeknownst to his parents, Rocco reached out to Dr. Lazel Obrecht, Britt's mother. Rocco wanted to learn as much as he could about Britt, and Obrecht was more than happy to tell Rocco anything he wanted to know about Britt, since Britt has been believed to be dead for the last several years. Lulu and Dante were appalled and ordered Obrecht to stay away from their son. But as Lulu's mother, Laura warned Lulu that was a mistake. Instead, she proposed that she set up a meeting between Laura, Obrecht, Lulu, and Dante. Things escalated quickly, but calmer heads eventually prevailed. An agreement was reached that Obrecht would only visit with Rocco with Dante and Lulu present. But Laura admitted that she didn't completely trust Obrecht and vowed to keep an eye on her. But Laura doesn't really have the time to watch Obrecht herself, so it seems quite likely that she would ask someone to help her keep an eye on the former mad scientist. Perhaps Laura could call upon her good friend, Scott Baldwin. After all, Scott and Obrecht were once romantically involved. Things ended badly between them, but there is every chance that both Scott and Obrecht have unresolved feelings for one another. If Scott returns, perhaps her can keep an eye on Obrecht to make sure she stays in line. Should Rocco leave well enough alone when it comes to Britt? How will he react once he learns Britt is alive and well? Is it time for Scott to come home and reunite with Obrecht? Anything can happen in Port Charles, so stay tuned to General Hospital airing weekdays on ABC. Kelly Thibault dove into the complicated relationship that Jason and Britt are going to have to sort through when they finally meet. General Hospital fans are excited for the upcoming reunion between Jason and Britt. They previously didn't part ways on good terms because, as their romance was budding, Jason was forced to marry Carly. They did so in order to preserve the then presumed dead Sonny's criminal organization and keep everyone safe. But after playing alive or dead tag, they're both finally going to cross paths, and Kelly Thibault shared some interesting tidbits about their impending reunion. "I'm just really excited for the journey ahead," Thibault told Soap Opera Digest, adding, "I think it's going to be a really incredible time on the show with Steve." Jason's been on a mission to find her, and she explained that their reunion will be complicated. Britt's going to be happy to see him, but might still be angry that he had to dump her for Carly. When the details of her return were solidified, Thibault spoke with head writers Elizabeth Korda and Chris Van Etten, so she could be brought up to speed on everything since Britt supposedly died at the hands of the Hook. The last Britt knew, Jason had died in Greece, and Thibault felt she'd be happy to learn he was not dead. She stated that Korda told her, No, she's seen on social media that he didn't die. I was like, oh, okay. Britt's still plugged in on social media, laughs. The actress was glad that time wasn't wasted on having the two characters dance around the fact that each was alive. Thibault and Burton talked to each other before her return, and early on, they saw each other in person. She explained that she hugged him and stated, "This is going to be fun." She remarked that Burton agreed, noting, "We were both really excited." At a Paris airport, Jason spotted Britt from a distance. Knowing where that would eventually lead story-wise, Thiebaud stated that she was excited to do that scene, even though it was brief. But finally, Meeting is going to knock the fans' socks off, and she praised her scene partner. "He's just such a great guy, a stand-up guy, and I absolutely just feel honored to get to work with him." Another day, another couple swap. While one former couple grows closer during tough times, another past relationship may be blossoming after the August 14th, 2025 episode of General Hospital. It's been a long time since Willow and Chase were together. Willow has gone through nearly 2 husbands since, while Chase has become happily married to Brooke Lynn. But it's not hard to tell where things may be going now that Chase keeps running into Willow in times of distress. Today, while on a run, Chase ran into a distraught Willow at the park. After she confided in him about slapping Lucas, rather than judging her, he reassured her. And in Willow's world, heroic tendencies only lead to one thing. Their conversation led to Chase confiding in his ex-wife about the current adoption standstill he's going through with Brooke Lynn. He's ready to move forward and finally become a dad. But Brooke Lynn threw a wrench in the wheel when she admitted she isn't ready to become a mom until she makes amends with her first son, Gio. Meanwhile, as Gio continues stonewalling his parents, Dante has had enough of the distance between them. He finally spoke to Brooke Lynn about trying to talk things out with their son, and there may have even been the slightest hint of chemistry between the former summer camp couple. If Dante and Brooke Lynn continuing bonding over Gio, it may only be a matter of time before the broken-hearted Willow and Chase find comfort in familiarity and rekindle what they once had, what Willow originally threw away for Michael. Scout needs to be away from her father. General Hospital's Alexis felt it coming, and she was right. Drew will no longer allow Scout to see her family members. It's time for her grandmother to fight for her. Drew is the most hated man in Port Charles. He lies, schemes, and is just downright mean. We already saw how he was willing to hurt a child when he made sure that Wiley overheard him say that Michael no longer wanted him and his sister. Now, he is willing to sacrifice his own daughter's well-being to punish others and get his way. Poor Scout misses her family, especially her brothers, Danny and Rocco. Her dad has been keeping her secluded and barely spends any time with her. When Danny saw how miserable she was, he brought her home from camp to visit her family. Scout was thrilled, but Drew came in, practically dragged her out of there, and attempted to arrest her brother. To make matters worse, he has now banned her grandma Alexis and the entire family from seeing his daughter. How low can he go? Alexis knew this moment might come and had been looking into a solution in case it did. She is a top-notch attorney, so she knows that suing Drew for custody of Scout is a long shot. She consulted with both her attorney daughter, Molly, and her associate, Marco. They both agreed it was an uphill battle and that she should wait it out, but that was before she was banned from seeing her granddaughter. It's fight time, and Alexis needs to sue for custody, for Scout's sake. It won't be easy. But she is a fabulous lawyer and has the support of Molly, Marco, and the amazing Diane, who rarely loses. Drew may have a hard time finding representation. As slimy as Rick is, even he was appalled by what Drew did to Wiley. He might not want to take his case. That leaves Martin, who is good, but not next to Team Alexis. Drew is Scout's father, which gives him better odds, but Alexis has plenty of ammunition. There is a laundry list of the horrors of Drew, including the body shot debacle and the announcement that he slept with his fiance's mother at the wedding, in front of his daughter. In that instance, Alexis was the one who cared for Scout, not Drew. He was busy screaming at Nina. General Hospital spoilers are in for Thursday, August 14th, 2025. In the next episode, fans can expect Kai Taylor to get some encouragement from Stella Henry. Meanwhile, Drew Kane believes he needs to move his daughter away from her family, ASAP. Plus, Willow Tate gets a ton of support from her ex, Harrison Chase. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the ABC soap opera. Let's talk about Gio Palmier's birth parents. Dante Falconeri stops by to see Brooke Lynn Quartermain. Fans know that Dante and BLQ are both frustrated by Gio's distance. However, Dante thinks that they should be working together on this. Of course, BLQ would love to have a relationship with Gio. However, what exactly is Dante's plan? As for Gio, he seems to be starting to feel guilty about putting distance between his parents. When BLQ stopped begging, Gio seemed to look like he felt bad. However, it still might take some time before Gio is ready to talk to Dante and BLQ. In the meantime, Gio gets some encouragement from Michael Corinthos. Speaking of encouragement, Michael won't be the only one dishing it out. Stella ends up having a chat with Kai. Even though Trina Robinson is furious, Stella still thinks that Kai shouldn't give up on her. Meanwhile, Curtis Ashford shows up at the hospital. It turns out that he has an important invitation for Portia Robinson. General Hospital spoilers for the next episode reveal that Drew will make a huge decision. The congressman declares that he needs to take Scout Quartermain and move them to DC immediately. However, Molly Lansing Davis tries to do damage control with Drew. Even though she will try, it seems Drew is done with the Quartermain family. There will also be a moment between Willow and Chase. After getting reamed by Lucas Jones and Elizabeth Baldwin, she will have a supporter in Chase. I do wonder if it could affect his marriage to BLQ, though. There will also be another interaction between the mayor and Port Charles's mob boss. Laura Collins seems surprised when Sonny announces his plans. So, let's see what happens with that storyline. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Thursday, August 14th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep watching the soap on ABC to find out what happens next.